So the other day I saw a video of a baby getting physical therapy. It was a young baby, probably less than one, and it had been in the hospital for the first few months of its life. So, and I don't know if it's a he or she, that's why I'm saying it. The baby had not had the opportunity to build up the muscles that most babies do during those months of first few months of its life, and so it hadn't learned how to use its core muscles and was a little behind in that. So they were doing exercises that the physical therapist was putting the baby in positions where it wasn't upright, so that the baby then had to fight to sit upright. And during the sessions, the baby was just screaming whenever she would put it in that position that was probably uncomfortable and it's not where it wanted to be, and it was painful to watch. And you could see the father sitting on a bench behind, watching the physical therapist work, practically sitting on his hands, trying. You could see how badly he just wanted to get up and take the baby and make it stop, because it was so obvious the baby didn't like it and it was difficult and uncomfortable. The father even looked like he was almost in tears for most of the video. But the physical therapist wasn't harming the baby. The physical therapist was doing something that the baby needed to overcome a difficulty it came into this world with. Without that training, the baby wouldn't have built the muscles it needs for the rest of its life. So I was thinking about how this is like we are, and what God does with us spiritually. We are born with a spiritual ailment, and so we don't easily learn, or we're not easily able to do the things that He designed us to do as His children. And so, and then along the way, a lot of us also get wounds and injuries, and we're raised in a sinful world. So we mental and emotional and spiritual wounds that further get us behind in learning how to live as His children. And because of that, we might have to do some spiritual physical therapy, and it will look painful, because if you were raised in a difficult childhood, then compared to the people who were raised in healthy homes, you have a lot of catching up to do in the things that maybe they were taught in a nurturing, loving way. It just kind of comes naturally to them. They don't really have to work at it. But because we have this wounding, or if you have this wounding of being raised in a difficult home, then it takes a lot of physical therapy to get past that, to catch up to the place where God intends us to be. And so it's hard to watch on the outside. It's hard to be the baby. It's hard to be the one that's doing the physical therapy, because you don't like it. It's uncomfortable. And the people who love you and are watching it wish they could save you from that spiritual physical therapy. But the physical therapist, that's God, is our spiritual therapist, is not putting us through these exercises to hurt us. He is doing it so that we will exercise the muscles that we did not get a chance to develop along the way as we grew up, because we need those muscles for the rest of our lives. So it's harder when you started out behind, like that baby did. Maybe you did enter the world into a difficult home, or you had some sort of trauma or whatever. And so working past that to get to a healthy place is harder for you than it is for someone who doesn't have that. And it feels like punishment. It feels like that baby felt like the physical therapist was punishment. Every time she put it in a position where it wasn't upright, it would just scream. It didn't like it. It didn't want to do that. But she was helping it develop the muscles it needed. So if you started out life in a place that maybe you started out in a place where you didn't have everything or that a healthy family might give you, or along the way somebody really hurt you or there was some trauma, then you're going to have some physical, spiritual, I keep calling it spiritual therapy, some spiritual therapy. It's going to hurt along the way. It's going to feel like things you don't want to do, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take you doing it over and over, just like that baby had to sit up over and over in order to build those muscles to become healthy again. So you're going to have to keep doing that over and over to speed up the process of building those muscles that people who maybe had a healthy home just got over the course of many years. But because you didn't get it over the course of many years, then we have to do it over and over, like more times, like reps in exercise. And so if you're doing the work and you are feeling like, man, I just keep getting hit with this, I keep getting hit with this, I keep having to get back up, I don't like it, this is uncomfortable, just realize that perhaps this is your spiritual therapy to push you to that healthy place that God intends for us to be, that He wants us to be whole in Him, and that is your spiritual development. And stick with it and don't give up, because the physical therapist is not punishing you by making you go through things that push you. He is pushing you so that you will develop the muscles that you need to live a healthy life, in healthy spiritual and emotional and mental life. So I hope that touches somebody and makes sense.